What's going on, my friends? Hope you're having a good Saturday. I've been getting a lot of flack recently and a lot of backlash, and that's fine. I love to be very transparent and explain to you guys with the truth what's going on. So I want to live stream right now. I'm going to wait about 10 seconds for people to get into this stream, and I'm going to start with a story and then tell you what's really going on. And I want to specifically address the opposition. People that are coming to me saying, why are you doing this? You're selling out this and that. So 5 more seconds. Okay. So I went to a comedy show last night, and I feel like this really sums up what's going on. This comedian tells a story about, a lot of the comedians, of course, were bashing Trump. So he comes up and he says a story. He's like, okay, I went to Florida and I met this guy who was an idiot Trump supporter, right? And everyone's cheering like, yeah. And he's like, I was like, how the heck did you vote for Trump? And he was like, and then the weirdest thing happened. He said, I got out-debated. He was like, well, this Trump supporter started calling me out on policies and I didn't know what I was talking about. And he basically admitted through his joke that he had no stance on why he hated Donald Trump. And he ended the joke by saying, he's like, well, he freaked out and he was like, well, Trump is like the bad guy. Trump is like Jafar in The Lion King. This was his joke. He's like, he couldn't figure out why he hated Trump and he was getting out debated, but he just freaked out and was like, no, he's the enemy. I don't need a reason. I don't need validation. And there's something strange that's going on. The media and politicians 100% absolutely program people. They program people. I'm not saying you have to love Donald Trump. I'm not saying you have to agree with his policies. You could think he's a terrible person and a terrible president, but they've programmed people like computers, like zombies, like brainwashed robots. They've programmed people to not accept anything about him in a negative light. Like if he likes water, I don't like water. If he likes that person, I don't like that person. It's Russia. It's like they've literally programmed people. I don't care if you like him, but there's something mentally wrong with you if you're programmed to not accept anything about him in a negative light. And they do this for other politicians with something called political correctness, which is basically like lying to your face, saying things perfect, always saying the right thing to you, but then going and stealing your money and bombing countries and just corrupting the world. This is political correctness. They brainwash you with it. That's what everyone likes. They love this illusion. They like an illusion of somebody that they think's a great person that stands there and tells them to their face what they want to say and then does the exact opposite. It's called living a lie. And they use movies and TV to literally, people can't have a conversation anymore. You can't be like, this is bad that Trump did, this is good that Trump did, this is bad, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. The public perception has literally become everything he does is bad. If you mention him in a positive light or anything he's doing in a positive light, that's called you're literally brainwashed. Absolutely 100% manipulated. Your mind is being controlled by the media and by politicians. 100%. And that's what's happening right now because there's no logic and facts behind the resistance movement. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about disagreeing with certain policies, and that's why I do what I do, because I'm balancing the scale. Right now, no matter what Donald Trump does, there are major news sources, there are journalists, there's the public socially acceptable perception of everything he does is negative. They take what he does, they frame it in the most dishonest, negative light possible, blast it out to the public, and if you say anything otherwise, if you disagree with that frame, which is totally wrong, you're crazy, you're wrong, you're a Trump supporter, oh my God, you're selling out, look at you, you like something that he did, you thought it was funny, well I've been literally mentally manipulated and programmed by these politicians and by the media to completely reject any of that stuff. And it's a sickness. And that's why people can't figure it out. That's why the resistance keeps losing. That's why people opposing him keep losing. It's because there's no logic. In fact, you can't run off of emotions. But that's what this country has become. People, I talk to them about politics. I say, hey, this was happening overseas. There were weapons being sold to terrorists overseas. And someone looks at me, well, that's what I saw on TV. I saw a movie like that. It's like they're programmed to live in this fantasy world that doesn't exist. And it's sickening to me because with Donald Trump, you have somebody, the reason that they hate him, whether you realize it or not, It's not because they want to help you. It's not because they want to pass better health care. It's not because they want to stop the war on drugs. None of those. They just don't like him because he's not one of them. They control your mind. They control how you think. They control the news you watch. They control literally what's socially acceptable. They control that. They control you, your mind, your thoughts, what your friends think, what you're allowed to say in public. And Donald Trump is outside that control. No, I don't agree with a lot of the things he says. I don't agree with certain policies. I'm very vocal about the war on drugs. And you know the fact that I don't agree with Jeff Sessions and what he's doing amongst the good stuff he's doing. But I can weigh out. I don't like this. I like this. I don't like this. They've brainwashed people to literally be like, I don't like anything he does ever, and anything outside of that perspective of like disliking him is bad, it's fascist, it's racist, and I can't even fathom the fact that you would think that's funny or that you would agree with that policy, because I've been told, that's what I read, the healthcare, it's bad and millions of people are going to, well, did you research deeper into that? Did you find, the root? Well, no, but they said that, and I'm not even going to consider anything else because that's been said to me, and that's what everybody's saying. Everything's terrible. People are mentally controlled, and I see it with that comedian. He literally admitted in his own joke, he admitted, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just think Trump is a horror movie. They're relating it to the movies, which brainwash people, to the music. They're like, well, that rapper said that, or that, it's Russia. Like, there's no basis to that resistance. There's no basis. And people are literally losing their minds. They're losing their minds because they don't, well, I've been programmed to think that every single thing that he does is the worst thing in the world, and that's not why he ran. Whether he makes mistakes or not, whether he makes America better or worse, he ran because he thought things were so bad. Maybe, I don't know his personal intentions, maybe he ran to do whatever, all these terrible things, but the fact that people won't even consider, I could consider that he ran to enrich himself. I can consider that. I'm not going to say, oh, I know exactly why he ran for sure. I can consider that. But the problem is the other opposition, they can't consider. They're like, this is what I believe. There's no real basis to it. There's been multiple stories almost every single day. Every story is framed in the worst light. Frame. New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC, Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, all of the politicians, the Republican politicians, the Democrat politicians, the independent blocs, they all own your mind. And it's becoming disturbing to me that people say oh my God, well, Anomaly likes the fact, yeah, I do like the fact that he's ramping down war in Syria. Can you believe it? I like that. I like the fact that he's targeting ISIS as opposed to funding ISIS. That's what the last politically correct president was doing, funding the terrorists that they created. Tells you, oh my God, these people are the enemies and no one cares. No one knows it. Yeah, I do like that he's doing that. I'm sorry, is that wrong? That I know what's going on and you have no idea what's going on? You talk to any of these people, well, what do you think about borders? Well, I don't know. I didn't know nothing about border security. I just think that everybody's an American and everybody's a human being and we gotta, okay, so do I. I have those same feelings, but do you know anything about, no. Do you know about the refugee situation? No. It's not that I think I'm right or I know, and I'm very critical of both, left and right wing, but there's something profoundly wrong when your argument has no factual basis, no evidence. You've been programmed. You've been brainwashed. And it's happening all over the place. Like, it's just like, well, and then run away. Because you have to go in this little zone of like, I've been controlled. And I haven't. I'm sorry. I could play along with society if you want me to be and pretend like, yeah, I hate Donald Trump and stuff, but I'm sorry. I just don't. I like certain things about him and I dislike certain things about him. I'm sorry that you've been programmed to dislike everything about him. I'm sorry that you've been programmed to not know about what's going on in Syria, to not know about what's going on in Yemen, to not even have the word Somalia in your vocabulary. I'm sorry that you've been programmed that way, to not even know what's going on. That's a personal issue. I haven't been programmed. My mind is not controlled, so I know that this is not a one-on-one. It's not a, excuse me, it's not a, this guy's racist and she's not racist and this is a battle of the races. I'm not programmed, so I know that's not what this election was about. It was an 100-pronged election. Donald Trump doesn't stand. He's not an evil movie character. He's not a cartoon character that they've painted. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just not reality. He's 100 different things at once. He's a different policy in Syria. He's a different policy at the border. He's a different policy with refugees. He's a different policy with healthcare. He's a different policy with, Second Amendment rights, First Amendment rights. He's a different policy with spying on people, like Obama spied on Congress. He spied on Angela Merkel. That's confirmed. It's not a conspiracy. Google it. Everybody's writing about it. It's just no one cares because you've been programmed to not care. I care about the bad things Trump does. I care about the bad things Obama does. I was programmed for a long time. I thought Obama was like a perfect candidate for 7-8 years. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not going to lie. I was brainwashed. They brainwashed me at the university I went to. I'll make a video about that soon. Everything about it, they brainwash you to think, these people are good. These bad people, they paint the bad people as good people. And then somebody comes along trying to do good, and they paint them as a bad person. And you can't see that. And, I can consider that this isn't a good plan. I could consider this, but I know about everything. I know about all of the policies, and 80% of the people that dislike him, they don't know any of that. They don't care. It's just like, well, I watched Colbert Report and he told me he's bad. I watched John Oliver, he told me he's bad. I watched Rachel Maddow, he told me he's bad. Bernie Sanders told me he's bad. Your mind is controlled. It is. I'm sorry. Your mind is controlled. And it's about time people realize this, because I don't want to feel uncomfortable, because I'm smart and I'm educated and I'm paying attention and I'm aware of everything that's going on. And I'm not a negative person, and I'm a self-motivator, and I'm a go-getter, and I'm an overachiever, and I lift people up and I give good energy. I'm not feeling like an outcast just because you're too negative, because you've been brainwashed. Well, I'm been told by the TV to hate everything and to think everything's ending, and I can't even consider otherwise, so don't even bring that into my life. I'm sick of it. If that's the type of person that some people are that want to critique me, I'm down to have an argument, but there's something interesting, and I keep saying it, I'll say it again, and it's still going to happen because there's no logical foundation. I would love to see things that Trump is doing. I've seen a bunch of articles that he's doing where it's like, wow, that's not right, I'm not, but I'd say anytime people come at me with this stuff, they start calling me names, they start cursing, they start freaking out, and there's no argument. And I'll say this in a live stream, and then literally the comment will be like, well, F you, anomaly, blah, blah, blah. And they do exactly what I just said. I just said there's an emotional freak out because people like short circuit because they've been programmed and brainwashed so much. It's like, oh my God, and they run away. And I say that, and people are like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to prove you right. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to call you an idiot. I'm going to call you a loser, a sellout. I'm not going to explain why. I'm not going to say, well, this is why I've researched this and you're missing, because they don't have the information. It's just not there. Same like Russia. You talk to the director of the intelligence community, James Clapper, who doesn't even want to say this, but he has to because he has no evidence. He's gone up a bunch of times and said, I don't have evidence on any Trump-Russia collusion. Because you spent a year being brainwashed by everything. And it's literally public knowledge now that the Russia plot was hatched up 24 hours after the election. It's out there. They said they lost the election. I'm gonna brainwash people. They know how stupid people are. They know how much control they have on people. They said 24 hours after the election, oh, well, we're going to say Russia hacked the election, and that's our story, but we're going to do it. And they did it, and it's working. It's working flawlessly because people are so brainwashed and so controlled mentally. It's flawlessly working. They thought of it 24, they're like, this is how stupid people are. We own this news corporation, we own this news corporation, we own this radio station, we own this radio station, we own MSNBC, we own CNN, so we can do that. We can literally just lie to millions of people and they're going to believe us because we've indoctrinated them to believe that. And even people on the left, the intelligent people like Noam Chomsky and Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye, these are supposed to be the intellects, the scientists, the innovators, and they can't even have a conversation anymore. Listen to these people. Oh, you're racist. You're sexist, and, I'm not going to use science anymore because you guys are so dumb that it's not even worth my time. That's what they say. They're like, you guys are so stupid that I'm not even going to explain to you via science or facts. Like, what is going on? I'm somebody, if I take a political chart, I'm left-leaning. I'm very central. I see both sides, but I'm left-leaning when it comes to caring about people, when it comes to the environment. But what's going on in the world right now? That everybody opposing Trump, they're just losing their minds. And it's not helping. To be honest, you people point the finger at me and say, well, you're crazy for saying some nice things about, I'm the one making a difference because no one believes you. People believe me because I'm not lying. So when I make a critique of Trump, People listen to me. Trump supporters listen to me. Conservatives listen to me. Progressives listen to me because I'm telling the truth about it. So I'm actually changed. I'm the one stopping Trump on his bad things. You're not. You make up so much BS, so much bullshit all over the TV and all this fake stuff. You're the ones who let Trump get away with everything because you're so stupid and dishonest that no one believes you. No one believes your news organizations. No one believes the resistance. You're not stopping him. You're enabling Trump. You're the reason that he's going to be an 8-year president because you guys have nothing better. Here's Trump's bar, and you guys are down here making fools of yourself. And you have the nerve to point the finger at me like, oh, Anomaly, you're selling out. Trump supporters listen to me because I tell them the truth. So when I'm like, that's not good that Trump does, they consider it. They don't consider anything you say because there's no facts. There's no logic. People have been brainwashed, and it's just get over it. It's 2017. We got the internet. Life is good. We got Teslas. You know, we got it all. We got cell phones. It's time to be brainwashed is over. That's what this election to me, above all of the negative stuff that I clearly see and I can agree with people, this was the breaking through the brainwash. This is the breaking through the politically correct. It might get a little ugly, but it's for people's best interest because you can't just be lied to all the time. The illusion that everyone is under. It's so controlled. If you can't say one nice thing about someone, you're controlled. I could say something nice about Hillary or Obama, but people have been controlled to not even consider it. They can't even consider it. Most people can't even watch him. They've been so controlled by all of the short clips. He'll speak for an hour. They'll take one clip, they'll edit it, and make him seem like a lunatic. And people can't. I've went to multiple people that don't like him, and I said, "Hey, let's watch 10 minutes of it. I'm just watch him in full context." I challenge you to watch. I won't even do it. These people are so brainwashed. I can't even watch it. I can't even think about it because I've seen the clip that's been edited and doctored, and so that clip has entered my brain so much that I can't even see the real clip of him really speaking. And these people are proud of it. You shouldn't be proud of that. You should be embarrassed. You should be evolving with me. You shouldn't be in the comment section, Anomaly, you're a sellout because you like one thing Trump did. Oh my God, Anomaly, you know what's going on in the Middle East, and you know you have, at least you hope. I don't know that Trump can solve everything in the Middle East. It's a very sloppy situation, but I'm willing to give him 100 days and not be on Twitter protesting him firing the FBI director that I actually wanted him to fire 3 months ago. That's how pathetic people are. It's so dumb. So don't come at me, because I'm making a difference. I'll stop Trump. If the war on drugs gets too heavy, I'll be the one making a difference, not you. No one's listening to you. No one's on your Twitter believing you. No one's like, because you've been pushing lies for this last year. These news sources that call out Trump all the time, I'm not saying to not call him out, but when you don't tell the truth about him, you're not calling him out. You're just lying. You're not helping. If you frame everything he does in the most negative light possible, you're not helping. You're not solving the situation. You're creating a smokescreen that people eventually fight through because it's the age of the internet, so you can't just lie to people like you used to be. And that's what's happening. So, I implore people to disagree with me. I implore people to say, you're not strong enough on this, but give me a source. Give me a reason. Literally, almost with 100% accuracy, every single person that says, "Oh my God, Anomaly, you're dick riding Trump." Anomaly, this. You don't give give me an article. Show me something that I should be saying. No one has it. If you have it, share it. Just share it, and I'll say it because chances are, if it's real, I'll talk about it. I'm not trying to hide anything. On this note, the Dakota pipeline, the one that was protested, it leaked. So environmentalists and, people against the Dakota pipeline, that leaked already because all of, the pipelines leak at a very fast rate. There's millions of gallons spilled each year, but you won't hear that. You don't care that I said that. You don't care that I made a war on drugs video. You don't care that it's the truth. You just want everything to be negative. And you want me to agree with your policies, but step it up, please, because I'm sick of people being manipulated. That's fine. You can be brainwashed, you can be manipulated, but don't come and attack my character and my integrity with no facts. If you're going to curse at me and say something, give some facts. Why don't you message me nicely and say, Anomaly, hey, I think you're going a little bit too overboard on the Trump stuff. But that's why I'm doing it, because that's where the facts are. when I research stuff, I'm like, well, here's the truth. I'm going to report this. It's not a coincidence that no one has that much facts to give me, because they're on the wrong side of the argument. And they're not willing to admit it. They've indoctrinated people to believe that that's right. I'm a social justice warrior. I care about this stuff so much, so I'm right and I'm totally right. This is the healthcare I want. This is the social, justice I want. This is the programs I want in the government, and if I can't possibly be wrong because I'm saving the world. That's what they program people to believe. Meanwhile, a lot of times these people are the most racist. The ones fighting racism, they're being the most racist. The ones fighting sexism, they're being the most sexist. Not always. We need our great people to stand up against racism and sexism. God bless the real ones, the good ones. But in a lot of cases, this is the reality of the situation. Please share some info with me if you feel otherwise. Thank you guys for listening. I think this is something that people should hear because it's getting ridiculous. The Russia stuff, I can't believe it's still happening. I thought it was dumb the first time I heard it. And when it came out that it was a fake plan that they hatched 24 hours after the election, I wasn't surprised because I knew that months ago. I made videos 7 months ago that are sadly still relevant because that's how brainwashed people are. We could laugh about this with our kids someday. Be like, man, that was pretty crazy when the politicians and the media controlled my mind, right? Hopefully we could laugh at this over a coffee on a round table, because right now I'm not laughing. It's not funny to me at this moment. Sometimes it is, I laugh at it, but right now it's just like, come on. How long are we going to play this stupid game? I like some things Trump does. I dislike some things Trump does. You should feel the same way too if you're paying attention. Anomaly, you hate Trump. Oh, well, what do you think about Syria? What's Syria? Are you talking about the World Cup? Are you talking about the Avengers? Syria, Somalia? Are you talking about Somalia? I think Iron Man went to Somalia in the Iron Man. I'm not talking about Iron Man. I'm not talking about Marvel versus Capcom. I'm not talking about Two Broke Girls and Breaking Bad. I'm talking about real life, reality, countries that you've never even heard of. So don't come at me when you don't even know. How many people are we at war with? None. We're at peace with everyone because Obama just played basketball the whole time. We are? No, actually we were bombing 7 countries. We were? What? We were bombing 7 countries? Yeah. Well, Trump did it, right? Trump bombed the 7. No. Trump wasn't even in office. Trump was just a sit. Well, I'm gonna relax. Okay? Let's have a real conversation. I'm willing to debate anyone. Anybody has a platform, progressive, Democrat, Republican. I have an audience. It'll be mutually beneficial. Let's debate. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. I'm trying to have these conversations. But it seems to me like a lot of people aren't trying to have a lot of these conversations. So let's talk about it. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.